Hi there. Welcome to another edition of DuPont Registry Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay Talks interview series. I'm David Warner. I'm editor in chief, and I'm excited to have with us two wonderful folks who are involved in a very admirable scholarship and art auction. And let me introduce you. This is Jane Bunker uh, and Mason Morfitt. Uh, we're talking about the Woodson Warriors Scholarship Auction. And this was started 2 years ago by Jane and Mason, and in affiliation with the Dr. G. Carter Woodson African American Museum. And it began with with Jane selling 20 of her paintings, which sold close to 20, which raised no 20 canvases, right, which raised close to $40,000. There was a blip last year, which you can probably understand, but even then, money was raised. And this is the second annual, even though it's the third year. And Sunday, March 14th at 5 p.m., you can sign up and join the virtual auction where one of Jane's paintings by four other terrific artists are going to be on auction. And all this week, you can go online and bid on the silent auction. So let me just first reintroduce you, Jane and Mason. I remember we talked about this back in January of 2018, I think. Or was it 2019? 2019. January 2019. That was the first year you came up with the idea. Tell us how that idea evolved and what brought you to auctioning off your paintings as a way to raise money for scholarships.
Well, Mason and I had an opportunity to meet Terry Lipsey Scott at the museum, at the Carter G. Woodson African American Museum, through some friends. And I had done work in Palo Alto when I was a psychologist with the African American community there. And I thought, I want to work with Terry and I want to work with the African American community. I wanted to be in service because I'm retired, and there was a lot going on in our country and in my health, and a lot of things happening in my life that were somewhat depressing. And I thought, what can I do that would bring me joy and give me really a sense of loving what I'm doing. So I love to paint. I've been a painter all my life, except for 25 years when I was a psychologist. And I thought maybe I could combine my love of painting with my commitment to the African American community. And so I talked to Terry at the museum and I said, what do you think about maybe trying to sell all my paintings, as many paintings as I can do in 2 years, and funding college scholarships for African American youth of this community? And she loved the idea. And as soon as I went in my studio and started painting for this, I started to feel better. Felt better about our country. I felt better about myself, and things started to fall into place. It's been somewhat of a miracle, actually, because people didn't know me as an artist. We had recently moved here, and we just didn't know if this was going to work. But we're very, very grateful that it did.
I think a large part of that has to do, besides Jane and Mason's spirit, is the quality of the paintings, because her paintings, which for the first auction and continuing now, the paintings you're doing are all of lilies or other flowers, or still lilies, and they're gorgeous. With the story I wrote back 2 years ago, I started out by saying I really don't like lilies, but now I do, and you could understand it once you see the artwork. And so then it evolved. You did extremely well the first year. There was a live auction as well as a silent auction.
No, just a silent
auction. Oh, it was just
auction
a silent auction the first
right.
year. Sorry.
Right.
And then last year, there was no chance of having anybody join together. But still, you were able to raise funds for scholarships. How did that happen?
Well, we really, the timing was interesting. A lot of the Black Lives Matter issues were happening in the spring. And even though we canceled the auction, there were many people who were so upset about what was happening in the country, and we wanted to do something to make a difference. And we started getting donations. A few paintings did sell despite the cancellation of our auction, but we ended up raising $43,000 again. And that felt also like a miracle. And on top of that, the Milky Family Foundation of St. Petersburg read about us in the Tampa Bay Times and decided to donate $50,000 a year to our project for the next 10 years. So we felt very, very blessed. And it was a complete turnaround from how disappointed and upset we were when everything got canceled.
Right. And with those contributions, we already go into this third or the second annual auction with a good amount of money in scholarships. You're already supporting 17 students at this point, correct?
Well, it was 17 in the first year
First year.
in 2019. And then last year, because of the pandemic, we decided we didn't know how things were going to go. So we didn't choose any new scholars. And we invited all 17 of our previous scholars to reapply, and 11 reapplied. And we gave them $43,000. And we committed that we would support them as best we can throughout their whole 4 years.
That's great.
And that will be true for all our scholars. And we hope to choose 10 more scholars this year.
Well, I had a chance to talk to some of the scholars from the first year, and they're incredibly impressive. Daniel Sanders, I remember in particular, who is already a star at Florida Southern and was very appreciative of the help that he got from the scholarships. And Mason, you took a series of wonderful portraits of these past scholars. Can you talk about your relationships, the two of you, between the scholars now that they've been connected with you through these scholarships?
Well, these scholars have become part of our family. We've grown to know and love them and support them, and they have been very gracious and very articulate and very impressive young people. They have high grade point averages, and they are studying serious subjects that are going to lead them to career paths.
And they all showed up at my 75th birthday.
Oh, nice.
To surprise me. They were all.
Oh, really? It was a surprise?
It was a surprise.
Oh, that's
yeah, I
great.
didn't know anything about it. And Terry invited them, and we were on a Zoom call with many of my friends, and there was a knock on the door, and I opened the door, and there they all were with their parents and balloons and flowers. And
Wow.
it was wonderful.
That must make you feel great.
Another thing that's wonderful is that they're connecting with each other and supporting each other.
Oh, good.
And they've become like a team. I think they like being the very first Woodson Warriors, and they're interested in helping whoever follows in their footsteps.
Now, another thing that's different this year, in addition to already coming in with a good amount of money and scholarship money to be able to award, the auction includes not just paintings by yourself, but the live auction on Sunday is going to include works by by four other really prominent local artists. Can you talk a little bit about what their work is?
Well, we specifically chose artists because we've always given 100% of the proceeds to the scholarship project. We wanted to invite a few artists that we knew were successful enough that might not be a hardship for them to do. It's still very generous of them. So we chose very well-known artists in the St. Petersburg community: Mark Ayling and Brenda McMahon, Stephen Kenny, and Duncan McClellan. And so we have a glass item, we have a ceramic item, we have a polyurethane cast item, and an exquisite painting. And they're very, very unique and different from each other, so it makes it especially fun.
We have two exquisite paintings.
Yes.
Oh.
One is your own. and then in the silent auction, in addition to, again, more of your paintings, you were able to seek out and get donations from hotels, from the Florida Orchestra. Can you talk about some of that?
Can I talk about that?
Sure. We reached out to the American Stage Theater and the Free Fall Theater and the Vinoy Renaissance Hotel and Alden Suites. And they've all made donations, which we are including in our auction and in our what we're calling a drawing opportunity. And it's been very encouraging to receive that kind of support from folks who themselves are experiencing hard times, but recognize the importance and the vitality of this project.
And one of the items is good for sports fans out there. It's a great Rays Rowdies package with a Willie Adames jersey and a bunch of other cool things all in that one package. I understand that prior to the auction, that Ryan Smith, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, through the My Cause, My Cleats effort, which the NFL sponsors to help athletes support their favorite causes, Ryan donated a pair of cleats to the museum, and those have been
Given to our project.
given to the project, and they've been sold already, I gather.
Yes.
Sorry about that, too late. But do check out the other items on the silent auction. The easiest way to do this is to go to woodsonmuseum.org. Is that correct? woodsonmuseum.org. And that will take you through the steps of registering for the auction. All of that is free to register. There's nothing to pay unless you bid on something, which of course you want to do. It's beautiful artwork. It's a great cause. It's arts and education all melded into one. What could be better? And you've got on Sunday, Jason Alpert, who's the leading auctioneer in Tampa Bay, is going to be herding the cats, correct? He's going to be summoning the bids.
Yes, and you'll have if you tune in, you'll have an opportunity to meet a lot of the scholars.
Oh, great.
They will be, everybody's made videos ahead of time, so this whole event has been put together by an audiovisual team. And there's also wonderful entertainment. So you'll hear Alex Harris. There's a very young saxophone player who's at college named Jason Bowles, Jordan Bowles. Jordan Bowles, excuse me.
Yeah.
John and James, who started the One City Chorus, they're singing. The Urban Gypsies, Christy Hardwick.
Oh.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And that's Sunday at 5 o'clock, March 14th. And just have to join in. And as I say, the details are at woodsonmuseum.org. You could also, if you like, visit the Woodson Museum this week and see the artwork that's going to be auctioned in person. You just need to make an appointment, and that's the Dr. G. Carter Woodson African American Museum at 2240 9th Avenue South in St. Petersburg, in South St. Pete. And it's definitely worth a visit no matter when, but this would be a particularly good time to go there. Many sponsors, including DuPont Registry Tampa Bay, for this event, and certainly the amazing generosity of the Milkies has been really a great example for the community. Really the best thing you can do is to look at the artwork because they're dazzling. And I talk about not just Jane's, although she's leading the way, but Mark Ailing's work, and Stephen Kenny's, and Brenda McMahon's, and Duncan McClellan's. All are beautiful and worth a look and perhaps a bid.
Can I just add one thing?
Yes.
We are open at the museum Saturday for Art Walk from 1 to 5. We're open from 1 to 5 by appointment, but from 5 to 9, you don't need an appointment. And we will be there and with masks. We won't be serving food or drink because people take their masks off for food or drink. So it's just to come and see the artwork, and we invite you all to join us.
It's the second Saturday art walk that they do every month in St. Petersburg. So put that on your calendar too on Saturday from 5 to
9.
5 to 9 at the museum. Well, I think this is great. I'm so glad you were able to join us, and I hope you raise a whole pile of more money for these scholars. And I mean, one thing you can do is go to the Facebook page of the Woodson Warrior Scholars, and you can hear testaments from the scholars themselves about what this has meant to them. And maybe you'll be able to see their stories on video on Sunday.
I'm happy to give my telephone number for people who want to make appointments. Which is 505-577-8018.
Okay, well, we'll share that with all of the spam callers we know and make sure they all call you regularly. Anyway, that's all about the Woodson Warriors Scholarship Auction. Thank you, Jane Bunker and Mason Morfitt.
Thank you for having us.
It's a great cause and a great time, I think. So thanks for joining us. Perhaps we'll see you online sometime soon. I'm David Warner. This is Tampa Bay Talks from DuPont Registry, Tampa Bay. See you next week.